What's up, Dolphins fans? Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Dolphins on 5. I'm David Eversole, joined by Alfredo Artiago, 3 yards per carry. Got a lot to talk about today on this day 6 of camp, but before we jump in, make sure to support one of our amazing sponsors here at the 5 Reasons Sports Network, Prize Picks Daily Fantasy. NFL season's right around the corner, but in the meantime, you've got MLB, WNBA, a lot of other things going on. So make sure to sign up and deposit using promo code FIVE. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So once again, prizepicks.com, promo code FIVE. Alfredo, good afternoon, man. What's going on?
Evidently, a lot was going on today, right?
Yeah, pretty big news, obviously. It's been a really upbeat camp, but of course, the preseason gods usually have something different to say about the Dolphins. So we're going to touch about a little bit of that story today. The news came out of a report online that the Dolphins lost a couple draft picks in the next 2 drafts for tampering with Tom Brady. So, Alfredo, just give us a brief rundown on what happened today.
Roger Goodell and in accordance to the NFL anti-tampering policy, came down with their findings from their investigation, and they deemed it that the Miami Dolphins did indeed tamper with Tom Brady in 2019 and then again in 2021, and did indeed tamper with New Orleans Saints head coach at the time, Sean Payton. And they've levied a fine of $1.5 million for Stephen Ross, $500,000 for Bruce Beal. Bruce Beal is barred from NFL activities for a year, but he may attend games. And Stephen Ross is barred from NFL activities and committees for what it amounts to 6 regular season games. I believe he can return October 17th. As far as draft picks, it's a first rounder, 2023, and a third rounder in 2024. You can take issue with these punishments. If you look at President in 2016, the Kansas City Chiefs were charged with tampering of then wide receiver free agent Jeremy Maclin, and they were charged with $250,000 in fines. And Andy Reid was charged $75,000 personally. GM Dorsey was charged $25,000 personally, and the team was docked a 3rd round pick and a 6th round pick. If you read their findings, these violations were egregious. So if you believe in precedent, then this is in line with the kind of punishment the NFL would seek and would levy. If you read the NFL.com's anti-tampering policy, it's very broad. It essentially gives Roger Goodell full autonomy, full power to do whatever he wants, and whether to have an appeals process is also up to him. There is essentially no written policy that dictates what punishment shall be for what kind of offense. It's completely at the discretion of the commissioner, and that's what he did today. And if you believe in president, then yeah, I guess you got to believe that this is appropriate if they are indeed guilty of all of this, which they seem to be.
Right. Obviously, the punishment's one thing that we're going to feel a little bit more down the road. But before we move on to the news of today, what do you think about the timing of this? Obviously, given the news that came out yesterday, I think it's a little bit curious that they come out with this harsh change of directions to another team today.
Well, they got, I believe, until tomorrow morning. Let me see. No, Thursday. They got until Thursday 9 a.m. to do their own appeal, or let's face it. They have until Thursday 9 a.m. for Roger Goodell to do whatever the hell he wants. Okay, that's the policy on Deshaun Watson. We shall see if they do anything in that case. But in this case, it's open and shut. Stephen Ross will not appeal. I don't believe there is even an appeals process for this one. In 2016, the Chiefs did in fact appeal their punishment of a 3rd round and 6th round pick. The appeal was denied. But even if you do believe that there is an appeals process for this one, which there doesn't seem to be, and Stephen Ross has said that he is not going to seek any remedy or relief, then it doesn't really matter, because the appeals process will go through the guy who's already levying the punishment. So why would a guy change his mind in 24 hours, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We shall see. We have until Thursday 9 a.m. to see on Deshaun Watson.
All right. Well, moving on, obviously, we're a little bit more concerned about the product on the field. We've had a great camp so far. So I believe today was another solid day from some of the reports out there. So give us the latest on what you saw at the practice field today.
Well, it was different, right? They had pads on. They did a lot of drills to start off, which you can call like game day warm up drills. Like they seem to be into a routine. They seem to be simulating a game day routine, and then they got into it with a few snaps on offense, and they really mixed around all the personnel groupings. I can't reveal what the personnel groupings were, but a lot of what you would consider first team guys played on third team, and what you would consider third team guys played on first team. So there was a lot of mixing and matching of players. Two standouts: Melvin Ingram on defense looked really, really good. You could tell that he's not so much about running around in shorts. I was about to say something soon here, about his play this preseason and in camp. But I guess he's not a guy who really cares too much about running around in shorts. But once the pads came on, he was noticeable today. He played pretty well. He had a really nice inside move on Larnell Coleman, got in on Tua. You could possibly charge a sack there. Although, it's hard to say whether Tua actually gets away from it because he did sidestep the attempt. Another guy who I thought played very, very well today, and he was noticeable, was Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson was pretty sharp today, including a couple of wide receiver screens where he actually got out and hit his block on the wide receiver screen. Another guy who actually I thought looked pretty well was Robert Hunt on a pull. Play of the day I thought was a pull by Robert Hunt behind rookie Kellen Diesch. And I guess you could determine where the guys were playing at that time, where Chase Edmonds found some room on what was it, like a counter play. They completely caved in the right side of the Dolphins defense on that play. Raekwon Davis got washed out. Zach Sealer got washed out. It was actually the play of the day. But I thought it was rather encouraging to watch the offensive line. And as far as Tua, he was generally sharp. He was under some pressure, but he was delivering the football and he was making good decisions. He had a deep one to Eric Ezukama, rookie Eric Ezukama. And as far as any other news, Preston Williams, I guess he had a tweet where he was revealing he was actually pretty angry about the way he's been used this offseason and this training camp. And, well, you all saw the tweet. It was about, all I needed is an opportunity. He was given an opportunity to maybe walk that back a little bit afterwards. After practice, he spoke to the media, and he did not. He actually doubled down. So he made it clear that he is not happy with the way he's being used. So we shall see how that goes going forward.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's early, and you don't like to see these sort of distracting storylines from what's been a pretty positive camp overall. Anything you saw about the running back group today?
Raheem Mostert was wearing the non-contact red, but he naturally looks fast. He had one noticeable snap where he picked up a blitzer off the edge. Good pickup, allowed Tua to complete a pass down the sideline. So he was also noticeable today. And Myles Gaskin was absolutely blown up by Sam Eguavoen on a run today. That was the highlight hit of the day.
Yeah, it's good to see these guys kind of picking up the intensity and ramping it up a little bit. So before we wrap it up, I think you said it online, but you want to give us your player of the day for today?
Yeah, I was watching these guys really, really closely, especially on the offensive line, and I was really watching the tackles. I wanted to see how the tackles performed today. There's no secret that Terron Armstead had a vet day today, so a lot of guys got a lot of opportunities to play everywhere. I watched these guys rather closely. I thought Austin Jackson was a standout today. I thought he played very, very well, hit all his blocks. I could not find fault at all with anything he did today. So he was my 3 yards per carry player of the day, Austin Jackson.
Yeah, I think this competition on the offensive line is gonna help him tremendously. So, want to thank Alfredo for joining us today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and thanks everybody for watching.